What you're about to hear is not a rumor, not a prediction, but the beginning of a storm that could rewrite MotoGP history. Welcome to MotoGP News, where we break down the data that terrifies engineers, shakes champions, and exposes the birth of Yamaha's new weapon, Toprak Razgatlıoğlu. Nothing prepared the paddock for the way Toprak Razgatlıoğlu walked into MotoGP. He didn't bring trophies, he didn't bring bravado, he brought the body language of a storm disguised as a human. He didn't arrive like a rookie studying a new machine, he arrived like a man returning to collect a long overdue debt from physics itself. In every step, there was a sense of unfinished business. Jack Miller was the first to notice. Leaning against his pit wall, eyes narrowed, he dropped a line that echoed louder than any exhaust. This guy's data is going to change everything. It wasn't the lap time, an unremarkable P18, that caused whispers. It was the way he forced the M1 to obey laws he personally rewrote. That was the moment Yamaha realized they hadn't hired a rider. They had summoned an anomaly strong enough to bend the sport's rulebook. The difference was visible from the first meter. While most riders shape their style to fit MotoGP's hyper-disciplined aerodynamics, Toprak attacked the motorcycle like a warrior testing a blade. His braking created data spikes that made Yamaha engineers flinch, 5 meters deeper than Quartararo, as if limits were suggestions, not rules. His entry angle was 3 degrees sharper than Miller's, and his turn 10 slide looked like an attempt to insult gravity itself. Instead of adapting to MotoGP, he rejected assimilation. He forced the M1 to dance to the rhythm of his WSB chaos. And in that moment, Yamaha understood the truth. They were no longer dealing with a predictable MotoGP prototype. They were dealing with a force of nature determined to reshape everything around him. For years, MotoGP believed the modern era demanded conformity, aero dominance, Michelin sensitivity, V4 brutality, and a level of precision that killed artistic riding. Yamaha had lost its cornering identity. They were no longer masters of agility, only survivors. But Toprak revived something everyone assumed extinct: radical creativity. He doesn't wait for grip, he hunts it. He doesn't measure corner radius, he attacks it until the asphalt submits. His telemetry didn't look like a MotoGP rider adapting, it looked like a new species entering the ecosystem. When Yamaha saw his braking curve, lean commitment, and throttle violence, something terrifying yet hopeful awakened. It wasn't perfect data, but it was data filled with doors to futures Yamaha never dared imagine. Fabio Quartararo, Yamaha's shining hero and the man who carried them through 2020-2025, instantly sensed the shift. He saw Yamaha's engineers huddled around Toprak's laptop with a level of excitement they never showed for his data. He noticed conversations happening in tones far more animated than usual. It wasn't jealousy, it was awareness. The throne beneath him trembled. When he calmly asked about Toprak's braking markers, Yamaha answered with words he had never heard. "We've never seen anything like this." That sentence hit him harder than any loss on track. Because the threat wasn't Toprak the rider, it was Toprak the disruptor, the man who introduced possibilities Fabio could never present. Meanwhile, Jack Miller smiled. He understood what many in the paddock did not. Innovation is born from chaos, not politeness. Miller knew Toprak would misread Michelin grip, overload the front, and over-rotate the bike. But he also knew something far more frightening. Toprak learns from pain faster than others learn from triumph. To Miller, Toprak wasn't danger. He was the catalyst Yamaha desperately needed. The M1 had been shaped for predictable geniuses, but the future demanded calculated madness. Miller recognized that Toprak's approach would force engineers to abandon stale habits and embrace raw creativity. He didn't see a rival, he saw a spark, ready to ignite the most important engineering revolution Yamaha had attempted in a decade. Inside Yamaha engineering, something began to awaken. For years, they survived on safe decisions, minor aero tweaks, small torque bumps, subtle engine braking refinements. These improvements looked good on spreadsheets, but meant nothing against Ducati's aerial warfare or KTM's V4 explosives. Then they saw Toprak's telemetry. His braking trace was a cliff.
His lean angle mocked Michelin safety margins. His throttle exit made the ECU cough in protest. And for the first time, Yamaha's engineers said what had been forbidden: we can't keep building a bike for predictable riders. That realization was a shockwave. Toprak didn't just test the M1, he exposed its soul and revealed the evolution Yamaha had been too afraid to attempt.
But behind all of this was a political storm the public couldn't see. The 2027 regulations, 850cc, Pirelli tires, aero reduction, will force MotoGP into a new era. And Yamaha must choose whose DNA will define their future. A smooth, calculated, gentle bike for Fabio, or a wild, violent, chaos-driven machine for Toprak? The two paths cannot coexist. The choice determines Yamaha's fate for the next decade. Build for Fabio and remain consistent but tame? Build for Toprak and gamble everything on a dangerous but potentially era-defining rebirth? Yamaha knew the decision wouldn't just shape performance, it would shape their identity. In this tension, the paddock began sensing a strange new energy in Yamaha's garage. Not excitement, not fear, but possibility. After years of living in Ducati's shadow and KTM's wake, Yamaha suddenly had something no other factory possessed: a disruptor, a rider who didn't follow rules but shredded them. Toprak wasn't a 2026 project, he was a 2027 weapon under construction. Engineers whispered, managers strategized, even rivals exchanged worried glances. Because if Yamaha truly rebuilt the M1 around Toprak's chaos, the entire competitive landscape could fracture overnight. The Valencia test ended, but the shockwaves rippled for days. On the surface, it was just a new rider learning a new bike. But those who read telemetry saw something monumental. The M1 struggled to keep up with Toprak, but that was the gift. Every mistake he made revealed buried weaknesses Yamaha had ignored. His slides were warnings, his over-rotations were revelations, his aggression was a map. For the first time in years, debates inside Yamaha's engineering room were loud, heated, and alive. Toprak had given them something no MotoGP rider had given in years: a reason to change. And so the final question rose above Valencia like smoke. Is MotoGP ready for Toprak Razgatlıoğlu as he truly is? Not a point scorer, not a quiet learner, but a rule breaker, a fire starter, a disruptor sent to rewrite Yamaha's destiny. He didn't come for comfort, he came to spark revolution. Yamaha knows the risk, Fabio feels the pressure, Miller welcomes the storm. Rivals pretend to ignore him, but their eyes betray fear. Toprak isn't a fork in the road, he is the road. Chaotic, unstable, violent, but the only road that leads Yamaha into the future. The question is no longer, will Toprak succeed? The real question is MotoGP ready for a rider who doesn't follow the rules, but rewrites them?